Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. My name is Janet Bloom, and I have the honor of serving as the interim chair of the Department of Sociology this year. I'm here to welcome the probable graduates, their proud families and friends, and the entire sociology community to our recognition of the accomplishments and hard work of the seniors, master's students, and PhD candidates. And while the actual diplomas will be awarded this Sunday at the commencement ceremony after the final confirmation and approvals take place, this is a moment where we're all together to celebrate your accomplishments and thank you and recognize you. First of all, I'd like to start and speak to the families and friends who are here. And I want to thank you for sharing your students with us, your wonderful, wonderful students, and for supporting them through their hard work, encouraging them through their inevitable challenges, and celebrating their many triumphs. And to you graduates, just want to say amazing job. You've accomplished so much as you prepared yourself to tackle some of the most important and complicated issues facing the world today. You've mastered sophisticated methodology and gained a deep understanding of theoretical frameworks as sociologists. And your own creativity and independent thinking make you uniquely qualified to change the world in ways both big and small. I just wanted to throw in something to those of you who struggled. This has been a hard year, but a lot of people, most people actually struggle significantly through college, even pandemics aside. And so those of you who struggled, we're really especially proud of you. Your resilience, persistence, and perseverance are as important, if not more important, than any course grade can signify. So congratulations to all of you. I'm going to turn the floor over to Professor Nicole Gonzalez Van Cleve, the Director of Undergraduate Studies. But before doing that, I want to introduce the faculty that are here in attendance to celebrate with you. Faculty, would you please turn on your cameras so that we can see you, and I'll introduce you. Thank you all for coming. I mentioned Professor Nicole Gonzalez Van Cleve, who's the Director of Undergraduate Studies. You'll hear from her shortly. Professor David Lindstrom, the Director of Graduate Studies. You'll hear from him as well. Professor Michael Kennedy is here. Professor Mike White. Professor Jennifer Candypan is here with us today as well. Professor Jayanti Owens is here from her car. She didn't want to miss a minute of this, so thank you for coming. Professor Emily Rauscher is here as well. Thank you, Emily, for coming. Professor Logan, John Logan is here. Thank you. Professor Greg Elliott. Thank you. Professor Patrick Heller is here as well. Thank you. Professor Margot Jackson. Thank you. Professor Josh Pacewitz. Professor Jose Itzigson. And I think that is it. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Professor Gonzalez Van Cleve. And I just want to point out that you can use the chat feature as we go if you want to use it, just to send congratulations and celebrations to the graduates as they're named and honored. So I will turn it over to Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today. I have the distinct honor of being the Director of Undergraduate Studies in the Department of Sociology. So in this unique role, I get to teach the senior seminar. And I'm still kind of new to Brown. This is my second year. And because of the pandemic, I'm disappointed that I don't get to see the students all the time and be around campus. But I had this honor of getting to know the students and getting to see the people that they've become in the last 4 years. We asked challenging questions in my class. I said to them, what does it mean to live for sociology today? During a global pandemic, during a time of racial reckoning, during a moment of inequality. And they rose to the challenge. And what you saw was them taking all the things that they had learned in the classroom and putting it to work in policy and thoughtful critiques about the social world, and creating innovative videos and capstone projects, in consulting for a nonprofit to hopefully make laws and institutions more equitable. So it's been this wonderful honor just to see them learn and grow and understand how sociology and education and the classroom and all the different professors that have gotten to know them and nurture their growth have really impacted the people who they are and who they are becoming. So to all the seniors, I thank you so much for being such a wonderful part of my life this year during such a tough time. It has been truly an honor to get to know each one of you, to see you not just be brilliant in the classroom, but be resilient. And I hope the lessons that you learned this year will be ones that you carry with you forever. To all the families that have really helped to nurture and grow your being here today, as Professor Bloom said, we want to thank you. I remember at my graduation, I stood on a chair, lacking all decorum, and in a big stadium at Northwestern, I just kept on the phone yelling, "Thank you, I love you," to my family. So we all care so much about the family and the extended community that really shaped these students. I got to hear some of those special people about them during office hours. Sometimes it was the professors that you've seen, but sometimes it was high school teachers or aunts or uncles or cousins, or being impacted by very tough circumstances, but prevailing. So in their success, we honor and thank all the people that made it possible. So I want to go through and introduce each one of our wonderful graduates with a little description of their special talents and strengths. First, we have James Babb. He is a graduating senior in sociology and a concentrator from Memphis, Tennessee. And while he was at Brown, he began his career as a scholar athlete and since has thrived in the transition to the professional world. So congratulations, James. Next, we have Yan Hu Pak Cho. She is a graduating senior in the fall of 2020, and she's from Seoul, Korea. She studied social analysis and research. During her time at Brown, she was the co-coordinator at BASE, Brown Asian Sisters Empowerment, and part of the Human Trafficking Research Cluster at the Center for the Study of Slavery and Justice. She also found herself meeting wonderful friends at the international mentoring program, Casa Machado and Hansori. We want to congratulate and introduce Jessica Dibble. Jessica Dibble is a graduating senior concentrating in sociology. And while at Brown, she was one of 4 directors of the Ivy Film Festival, the largest student-run film festival in the world, hosted at Brown. This July, Jessica will start working at the Market Cast in New York as an analyst on their lifestyle brands team. Next, we have Liza Edwards-Levine. She's a graduating senior, a double concentrating in social analysis and research and English nonfiction writing. She's interested in the intersection between healthcare, law, social science, and social science research. Next year, she will be working with Excel Health, a life sciences consulting firm in New York City, and she plans to attend law school in the future. And we should note that Liza was one of 2 honors thesis writers, with her advisor being Professor Mark Suchman. Congratulations, Liza. Next, we have Annalise Ernst, and she is a graduating senior and a double concentrator in sociology and urban studies. While at Brown, she was heavily involved in HOPE, a student organization fighting for housing justice in our community. Annalise is from New Orleans, Louisiana, and she's excited to return home to attend to Tulane Law School in the fall. Congrats. Eliza Hicks is a graduating senior from Costa Rica, and who is a double concentrating in sociology and urban studies. And while at Brown, she was part of the recruitment committee in the Machado Hispanic House and on diversity inclusion committees of the environmental food co-op called West House. She is also the publicity director for a Mezcla Latin dance troupe and has helped to choreograph several pieces over the years. Next year, she will be working as a resident teacher at an elementary school in Providence. We also have Jake Makeda Cutchins. Jake is a graduating senior from Berkeley, California. While at Brown, he concentrated in sociology and was a member of Transfer, Hope, Bolt, and meditation communities. And during his time, he did a capstone project in a PhD level seminar on environmental studies. Next, we have Mariana Lapuente. She is a graduating senior from Miami, Florida. While at Brown, she was a social analysis and research concentrator and studied abroad in Paris last year. From working at the Ivory Room to tutoring at Bright, Mariana loved being part of the Providence community. She will be a first-generation college graduate and hopes to become an outstanding educator. Next, we have Tristan Laskowski. Tristan is a graduating senior and concentrator in sociology with a focus on organizational studies, and he wrote a special shout out and dedication. His personal note reads, Brown University has been a true blessing, and I appreciate everyone I've met along the way. Shout out to Professor Barrett Hazeltine and me, Professor Gonzalez Van Cleve. Thanks, Tristan. I didn't pay him for that. For having an amazing impact on my experience, and to the family for giving me an opportunity to be here. Shout out to Venice. Shout out to Englewood. It takes a village. Thanks, Tristan. Next, we have Charlotte Perez. She's a graduating senior and a double concentrator in sociology and applied math. While at Brown, she has enjoyed volunteering in the Providence Public Schools through the Swearer Center Bonner Fellows program, where she has been able to volunteer in English and Spanish-speaking classrooms. Next year, she'll be working as a research assistant at Apt Lab Associates, Social and Economic Policy Division in DC. She is also our second honors thesis writer, and she wrote an exceptional honors thesis under the direction of Professor Greg Elliott. Congratulations, Charlotte. We have Riley Pistorius. He's a graduating senior from Bridgewater, New Jersey, and a dual concentrator in economics and social analysis and research. During his time at Brown, he was the captain of the swim team and wrote for the Brown Daily Herald. Next year, he will work in business consulting in Washington, DC. Congratulations. We also have Hannah Sexton. She is a graduating senior and a double concentrator in sociology and economics. While at Brown, she was involved in public policy research as one of the lead research assistants for Dr. Matthew Kraft, and became interested in housing accessibility after volunteering with Housing Assistance Collaborative. Next year, she plans to work for Lumens, a top HUD leader in the US in an affordable housing and CRE finance. Finally, I want to announce our two award winners in the department. Every year we have a dedication to the concentration prize. And this year we selected the two seniors that have pursued an honors thesis. Now, with this pandemic, it has been particularly challenging to boldly do research with so many different hardships and issues with access. And both Liza Edwards-Levine and Charlotte Perez have really bravely taken on original research and analysis and done so with such ease during such enormous challenges. We had a wonderful presentation showcasing their work, and I hope many of the family was able to attend those presentations, and they did such an exceptional job. So first, for the dedication to the concentration prize is award winner Liza Edwards-Levine. Her honors thesis was Our Private Narratives of Public Health Crisis as Seen Through a COVID Online Forum, and her advisor was Professor Mark Suchman. Our next winner was Charlotte B. Perez, and her honors thesis was I Wish I Knew That, How Students of Different Races Experience the Transition to Elite, Predominantly White University, and her advisor was Professor Greg Elliott. I want to end by just saying thank you to all the students. You've been an amazing asset to our department. You've made us shine. And I hope that the memories and everything that you've learned here at Brown University will take you into your future, and that you will make the world a much better place, and that you find ways to live for sociology today, help fight inequality and other injustices that you see, and just make it a better place. Thanks so much. I'll hand it over to Professor Lindstrom, who will do the graduate students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce the graduating master's students and our PhD students. We have 4 students graduating this year in our Master's of Science program in Social Analysis and Research. This is a very highly selective program. It's intentionally kept relatively small. These students are taking courses alongside our PhD students, who are top doctoral students in the country. They're engaged in a very challenging program of study, taking advanced statistics and methods courses, and in a relatively short period of time. It's a shame, again, that we weren't able to all get together. but I look forward to seeing many of you again in the future and hopefully at Brown again. Particularly a challenging semester for some of the students who actually weren't able to be here. And so everything was conducted remotely, as many of you know. So, but I'm sure students got the very best out of the experience, and they're all going on to very successful careers. So we have great placement from this program as well. Fayantola Rebecca Abioye. Fayantola hopes to use the research and analysis skills she developed in the program to advance equity and attainment outcomes. After graduation, she will stay on as a research intern with the Leadership Alliance at Brown, while also exploring opportunities for research positions at policy organizations. It was wonderful having you, Fayantola, in class, and we look forward to your success. Zong Yao Kai. Zong Yao already has a job. Zong Yai, another excellent, outstanding student. Zong Yai will work at TikTok after graduation. She found her time at Brown to be enjoyable and rewarding, and it was equally rewarding and enjoyable for us to have you in the classroom. King Miao, Kate Gan. Kate completed the program in December and began January of the preceding year. Kate is from Shanghai, China. She currently works as a market research analyst for Data Ready DFW, a nonprofit organization that provides consultancy services to educational institutions, community organizations, and small businesses to improve data literacy. Next year, Kate will move to New York City to work in business development and consulting. Wonderful having you, King Mao. King Yi, Sally Wang. During the quarantine, King Ying took her courses remotely from Shanghai, China. And I'll tell you, always present in class, even if it was late at night or in the early mornings in China. King Mi was an outstanding student, always connected, fully engaged. And we look forward to someday meeting you in person at Brown University. She enjoyed the overall learning experience in Brown. As part of her learning experience in the master's program, she was an intern with Deloitte Consulting in Shanghai, and she will soon join Microsoft in Shanghai as a support engineer. Congratulations, King Ye. This year we have 3 graduating PhD students, doctoral students. Benjamin Bradlau, Rebecca Wang, and Zachary Wilmot. All of them outstanding students, and in particular, outstanding dissertations. Benjamin Bradlau. Ben wrote a brilliant dissertation that bridges literatures in sociology and political science to explore one of the most challenging questions of the 21st century: how to make the mega cities of the global South more inclusive through better governance. Based on extensive field work in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Johannesburg, South Africa, 2 of the most unequal places in the world, Ben's dissertation makes a powerful comparative argument for why Sao Paulo has been so much more successful in reducing inequality than Johannesburg. Not only is the argument that Ben develops a real innovation in how we think about governing complex cities, but he traces the outcomes through very detailed case studies of different essential services: housing, sanitation, and public transport. This dissertation is really going to change how we think about making the vast megacities of the global South more equal and more just. Ben has already published a terrific article from his work and is now working on a book. Ben's committee was chaired by Professor Patrick Heller, and the members along with Patrick were Professors Nitsan Chorev, John Logan, and Peter Evans. Rebecca Wang. Rebecca Wang combined her methodological training in our doctoral program with her abiding concern for illuminating the life circumstances of people in contemporary Africa. Her 3-part dissertation, focused on geographic mobility of low-income populations in Kenya and South Africa. The work challenged some prevailing assumptions about the impact of migration on well-being. Contrary to perspectives that foresee the harmful effects of family separation, the reciprocal support of migrant and origin family can help counterbalance the disruption. Becca found in one of her dissertation's chapters that male migrants exhibit better psychosocial health than their non-migrant counterparts in the origin. In another strand of her work, she found that prolonged separations and chronic disruption were not necessarily harmful for children in these environments. And in a final careful look at the phenomena, Becca drew on her new methods to more carefully document the sequences and patterns of parental migration that children experience. Becca currently is a user experience researcher with Adobe Corporation, helping teams improve Adobe's product designs for its user community, including persons with visual impairments. Congratulations, Rebecca. Rebecca's committee or chair was Professor Michael White. Other committee members, Margot Jackson, Zhen Xiaoqian, and Sangeetha Madhavan at University of Maryland. Zachary Wilmot. Zachary's dissertation extends sociology's long-standing engagement with the study of revolutions in a number of revolutionary directions. It compares the Nicaraguan and Iranian revolutions begun in the same moment of world history by symbolizing very different sensibilities, socialist and Islamic, of change. Zach draws our attention away from their causes and rather toward what happens to those revolutions in the succeeding 20 years of their social change. He draws on extensive archival work in both Persian and Spanish, enhanced by a sophisticated data analytic method for measuring and picturing how to recognize change in the societies themselves. His theoretical account not only explains how policies and practices vary in their resonance with the original revolutionary impetuses, but also how these very different revolutionary projects nonetheless reveal a common underlying logic in post-revolutionary change itself. Finally, while Zach is most ambitious in developing sociological theory and historical sociology comparing these revolutions, he writes in a most compelling and even accessible way. This is an extraordinary dissertation. The chair of Zach's committee was Professor Michael Kennedy, and other committee members were Professors Jose Itzikson and Josh Pasowitz. Congratulations to our graduating doctoral students and our graduating master's students. We look forward to following you into the future, and we look forward to hearing from you about your future successes as well. Stay close to us, and we look forward to return visits.
Thank you so much, David and Nicole, for those wonderful presentations. And again, thank you all to the graduates, family and friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining our virtual celebration. I know this has been said over and over again. We wish so much we could be with you in person to shake your hands, hug you, and meet some of you for the first time. But we hope we'll have a chance to do that soon if you're able to visit campus again. And for those of you participating in the in-person ceremonies on Sunday, many of us will be able to wave at you as you march by and blow kisses at you. So we can do that at least. So thank you again. This concludes our small program, and it's a small program, but it's an expression of tremendous admiration, gratitude, and esteem and honor for all of that you've done. So thank you so much.